Welcome back, everybody. We've got another busy one today. We've got a lot going on. If you watched my last video, we kind of started on this project, but now we've got to finish this project. Before we get into the video, just a little bit of backstory for those that are watching this video for the first time that aren't familiar with previous videos. We are getting ready to put a new roof on this building that I am in right now. You can see daylight coming through back there, but to fix the roof on this, we've got to tear the one back here down. This roof here on this building kind of sags down in the middle over here along this wall. What we did in the last video is this area here all the way around, all this road, these trees, all of this was clear full of cars. We got all of it cleaned out. Now all that we have left is we have a few wheels laying there. We've got a little bit of junk laying over here. I've got just a little bit of stuff right here to take out, and then all this will be wide open. We're going to take down a section of fence so we can get the equipment in here, and this part here, the gray part, is going to be torn down. The white part over there will remain. In addition to all that, we've got to get everything out of here so that this building is ready to tear down. That is my goal for today, if at all possible, is to have this building completely cleaned out. And I don't know if we'll quite get it done today. We might have to work on it a little bit again tomorrow. We've got a big stack of aluminum wheels, a little bit of stuff right here. Got a bunch of radiators over here, and I've got a whole bunch of bicycles. Now these bicycles are all just junk. I'm just going to crush them all. There's two bicycles here, an old Triumph, I think, and a Schwinn. I'm going to pull the head badges off of those. Then those are going to go in the junk. All these bicycles over here, though, are just going straight in the crusher. What I think I'll do is I'll take a car and I'll crush it. I'll bring it up here by the back door, set it there. We'll carry them out, stack them on there, and I think then make a pretty cool crushing video to crush those. We've got this old Thunderbird in here. Pretty cool car. It's got a 428 in it. It's seen better days for sure, but it's still probably well worth saving, especially being a 428 car. So we're going to drag that out of here. There's a bunch of engines in here. These are all just junk engines. These things were actually in here when we bought the place. So they had an auction here years and years ago, and I don't remember how many years ago it was now. I was just a teenager, but they sold these engines. You know, they brought $5-10 a piece, so my dad bought them for scrap, and then about a week later, he bought the whole property. So he never bothered taking them out of here. But enough of all that. Let's get busy. So I was up there moving those batteries around and I smelled something funny. Couldn't quite tell what it was, and then all of a sudden this thing here started going making this weird noise, and white smoke started rolling out under the hood, and I thought for sure something had caught on fire. So I just floored it and got it outside the fence. That way if it was on fire, the fire department could get to it. It wasn't on fire. I got it out here, opened the hood up on it, and fired it up one more time while the guys looked at it, and we're pretty sure the hydraulic pump on it blew up. And so they're coming out in the morning to look at that. They said they couldn't get out here for over a week unless we paid them double wages. So it's going to cost about $400 an hour for them to come look at it. But we need it done right away. So they're going to be here sometime mid-morning tomorrow. So I guess until then, we're kind of shut down on the project. And I'm back again today. Look at that cute little Saturn wagon. You don't see those hardly ever anymore. Used to get those things all the time, and they were ugly back then. It's unusual now, but it's still ugly. I'm not sure what time they're going to get here on this. Hopefully here pretty soon. It's about 9 o'clock now, so hopefully it doesn't take them too much longer and they can get here and figure out what's wrong with it and hopefully fix it. They're probably going to have to order parts, so honestly it may not be fixed this week, so kind of shut us down a little bit. And yeah, I'm still waiting on the battery truck to get here. Those batteries have been sitting here for, man, going on 2 weeks now. And now you watch, now that the loader's broken down, they'll probably call today and be like, yep, we're on our way to get those finally. So I guess until he gets here, I'm going to come in here and start picking up all this stuff. I'm going to clean up all the stuff that I'm keeping first, get it out of the way, and then I'll go start going through these bikes. I got a few badges out of there. Got this old Raleigh. Got a couple of these flying O's upside down. There we go. Those are kind of cool. And then I've got this old, I think this was a Kalkoff German bicycle. If I can get it to focus on the, yeah, it's a Kalkoff. And there it needs cleaned up. It's got a lot of paint over the top of it. But I've actually had a couple of those bikes in really good condition. They're just cheap made bikes, but they were made in Germany back in the 70s. And then I got this Tees. And I forget where Teeses were made. I looked them up once before, and they're just, once again, they're just a cheap bike. You know, back in the 70s and 80s was the bike boom, and that's when most of these bikes were made. And boy, every company in existence made bicycles at that point in time, and most of them didn't survive into the 90s. I got all these lights put inside. I shouldn't have left them laid out in the dirt. They didn't rust or anything like that. They got some dirt on them, but they'll clean back up. But I got them set in here out of the weather, and I got those other lights, those pedal cars, those Chevy truck grills. Got everything moved inside that I didn't want to sit outside. Got everything out of all these trees right here. Got all the good bicycles out of here that I wanted to keep. Got all the head badges off. I think the rest of this stuff in here is just scrap. Check out the brakes on this bicycle here. I'm not sure what these are. Williams Engineering, Elk Grove, Illinois. It's got front and rear, and then it's got some sort of weird apparatus here. I don't know. I've never seen nothing like this before. It's kind of unusual. It ain't worth nothing, I'm sure, but it's just unusual. Yeah, I think all of these, as we pull them out, if I see any more badges, I'll be sure to grab them. But other than that, I think once we get the loader going, I'll set a car up here and we'll start stacking bicycles on it. I still remember these bicycles. Most of these bicycles up here, I gave $1 a piece for, and I had a guy helping me, and he charged me $1 a piece to help move them. And they were out in the country, and I had to drive across a real sandy field, and I had to keep it floored all the way across, because if you stopped, you got stuck instantly. And one time I got stuck, and I had to go get buckets of water out of the creek and come up there and dump water underneath the tires to harden the sand to get going again. Fun times. But I put all these in here when I was 19, so that was about, what was that, 13 years ago? Almost 14 years ago. And I started putting tin down to keep the trees under control, but I ran out of tin, so I didn't make it very far. And it didn't do a whole lot of good anyway. Check out this bicycle here. The handlebars are in the tree. At one time, these bicycles went all the way out to the road and they wrapped around the side. The boxes weren't here at that point in time. That was solid bicycles as well. Well, speaking of bicycles, a guy just came out. Now, I guess kind of a backstory on this is this guy has told me about this bike for probably every bit of at least 10 years. And when I was a teenager, this was my dream bike. I always wanted one of these, a Trek single track, and I could never find one my size. And this guy, I knew he had this bike, but he used to ride it all the time. And he would always tell me about it and say, when I'm done riding that bike, I'm going to let you know about it. Well, this morning I'm out here junking all these bicycles, and he comes out here and he says, hey, I'm finally done riding. I'm getting too old to ride all the time, so I'm going to go ahead and sell you my bicycle. So he went home and got it and brought it back. And I don't ride bicycles nearly as often as I used to, hardly ever actually, but just the fact that this was my dream bicycle for so many years and now I finally have it. And good morning, we are back again. The loader is fixed and ready to go. At first, when it first happened, I thought for sure the pump blew up or something catastrophic happened. I couldn't quite tell what had happened, but come to find out is where one of the hoses goes into the pump. They're high pressure hoses, and one of them controls the hydraulics for the up and down, the steering and all that. The other one is a hose a little bit smaller, and it controls the brakes. I didn't realize that it was all the same pump for all of that. But anyway, there was a little itty bitty teeny tiny hole in that hose, because when you press on the brakes, every time you press on the brakes, the lines that control the brakes basically flex a tiny bit. And over the course of the last 10 years now, it just kept wearing on that, and it must have been a weak spot in it anyway, and it finally blew out and blew through, and it just happened to happen right at that moment. So they had to come out, take the old hose off, we had to take the hose down, get a new one made, bring it back, and then the guy was able to put it on for us. It's all working fine now. It took 18 gallons of fluid in that thing. It was almost empty. I'll tell you what, I can't win. I had a warning light come on the dash, said shut off the machine, hydraulic resistance is too high. And I called them and they said it's probably the filter needs changed. So I've been calling everybody I can find, trying to find somebody that has this filter, and most places are saying it's not even pulling up in their system. Finally, I got to thinking, and Case New Holland, I mean, it says CNH right there, Case New Holland. They're the same company now pretty much. So I called the New Holland dealer, because we don't have a Case dealer here. And they said, yeah, we've got 2 of them in stock. So I'm going to run out there now and grab it. It's way past due for a change anyway. Time gets away from you sometimes and you forget to change them out. He said what the deal probably is that when you put a new hose on sometimes, especially a custom made hose where they've been doing cutting and putting metal in it and that sort of stuff, he said sometimes there'll be a little bit of debris left in the hose, and if they don't flush it out, which they didn't have time to flush it out, we were in a hurry yesterday, so we didn't even think of that. And so we just slapped the hose on there real quick. So he said there was probably something in the hose that went through and hit the filter and clogged it up. So he said probably shouldn't drive it like that, probably should get it fixed. So luckily I found one. It's just right outside of town, so I went around out there and get that. And it is getting super windy today. Here's all the bicycles, 35 antique bicycles. There's a lot of good Sturmey Archer hubs. There's a few nice handlebars in there. There's some nice spring seats in there. There's some good parts in there, probably $400 or $500 worth of parts that would sell easily, but I don't have time to pull them, and I can't find anybody else to pull them for me, so away they go. We had to get them out of there. I'll make a crushing video of that once we get back and I get the loader going again, and then I want to get that car out of there, and we're almost done with the aluminum wheels, so we're almost done with that building. Well, I think that fixed the problem. No more warning lights. So I guess we're going to crush this truck. There we go. They're gone. I could stack more on there if I wanted to, but this truck is kind of a nightmare to move around because I took the axles out of it, and it was a 4-wheel drive, 3/4 ton truck. So it's got that big 4-speed transmission and transfer case sticking down, and they snagged the fork. And you may have noticed I just about dumped all the bicycles out the front of this thing. That was a close one. I thought, oh man, here we go. But I managed to keep them on there, got it in the crusher. Now it's flat. I'll have to crush this on top of something else. That way I can pick it up and move it around a little bit easier. I keep thinking we've got to be about done with aluminum wheels. I come back in here, and we're not. There was a ton of wheels in here. One more truck bed ought to get it. Then I got to hook a chain on this car and drag it out. Hook a chain on the rear end and run it out to, the chain will probably reach about where this dirt pile is. Then I got one more chain that'll probably reach to close to where that plastic cap is. And then I've got a ratchet strap that'll run out the door and hook it on the loader. I believe, yes, Saturday, this coming Saturday, I've got a really cool thing I'm going to go film in. I bought some stuff from a guy in the backyard, and I'm going to have to take the skid steer to do that. So maybe tomorrow I'll go out and I'll just go ahead and grab the skid steer, bring it here, grab all these engines out of here, and then put it back on the trailer, and that way it's ready for Saturday. I know this has been kind of a chaotic video. It started out with me thinking we were going to have a great day and going to get a lot done and all this and that, and it didn't quite go to plan. That's the bottom line. That's the loader breaking down on me was kind of unfortunate, and then having to change the filter on it today, just one thing after another. But I've been driving it all afternoon now, and I have not had one issue, no warning lights, no nothing. So I think it's good to go for now. And there we go. I got pretty much everything out of here. I got 2 tires, a battery, 3 bicycles. My helper, one of those wheels there, so hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. After that, we are done in here, and we won't be back in here again until it's time to tear this place down. I don't really have anywhere here to put that Thunderbird. It's in the way everywhere I put it, so I think I'm going to go ahead and load it up, take it out to my place now. It is a windy one out there today, but the temperatures have dropped a lot, so I'm not complaining. There we go, where I have that Cadillac sitting out this morning, the Thunderbird is sitting now. I'll move it again later, but I haven't had time to rearrange all those late model cars and stack those, so I'm kind of running out of room to put the old cars for now, but we'll worry about that another day. I think we're done with this video. I know this has been just a crazy all over the place type of video. I didn't plan it that way, just that's what I got handed, and so I take the camera and I record what I've been handed and I give it on to you guys. Sometimes videos like that are fun because I have no clue what I'm going to be filming next, and so it keeps the surprise. Real quick before we go on, I want to put a plug in for my bus back here. In about 2 weeks, I'm going to be doing my first dedicated junkyard camper vlog. I don't know if you really want to call it a vlog, maybe it's more like a dedicated video, but it's going to be here in a couple weeks, and that's going to be pretty cool, I think anyway. I'm excited for it. So be sure to stay tuned for that, but with that, I'm going to let y'all go. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Hopefully nothing else breaks on the loader between now and the next time. That being said, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day, and remember to get out there, find an adventure. We'll see you next time.